Fish on TV, and it is Saturday the 28th of August. Big smile on my face. It's a cracking day. It is the final of the Daiwa Adlington Angling Centre Feeder Championships. I'm just going to got a few bits and bobs from Adlington Angling Centre. I'm just waiting for Joe Farrell. And last night was the draw where I've drawn on the Upper Rivington where I qualified from. So from what I saw there last time, a decent draw is pretty important. The other thing that I've noticed, going off listening to what people have said and what was mentioned on the draw, most people wanted to draw Upper Rivington. Now, after talking to Joe, and it makes sense to us this, Anglesark Res has been fishing quite difficult, but it is known for producing quite a lot more big bream than Upper Rivington. So I think what people have been hoping is that they draw the Upper Rivington, put a few pounds together, which is what everybody's after doing, obviously, and then go on to Anglesark the day after, once it's been fed up, and hoping that the bream have moved onto those sort of over the lines that people fish, which is, it can be anything from 25 metres to 40 metres and 35 metres to, well, I know Gareth Lambert goes to 85 metres, but I think the normal lines are sort of 45 to 55. So I think that's what people are hoping for, and it just happens to be that I've dropped on Upper Rivington, and so has Joe, and one or two others. There's 20 fishing on that reservoir and 20 fishing on Anglesark, so it ain't easy of 1 in 40 chance. Be nice to draw on some fish for your first day to give yourself a decent chance the second day, and obviously draw a decent area on the second day. But I've got a rough idea from what Joe's told me before, but where the informed pegs are at the minute, just don't know. So it's pretty much up in the air. I've got all my stuff ready. I'm really looking forward to it. It's my first final in match fishing that I've got to. Bear in mind, folks, you do see every match that I enter. You will not see all the other guys' matches that they enter, and trust me, some of them have been entering these big matches for absolutely years and never got to one final yet. And I'm talking about some mighty fishermen as well that have not got there. So it ain't easy, you know. There's thousands of anglers out there, and fishing's becoming very, very popular. Well, I've noticed a massive increase in the, especially feeder fishing. Feeder fishing's gone through the roof. I mean, to get tickets for feeder fishing, you've got to be on the ball. So there are some mighty fishermen out there, and it's never easy. Trust me, you need to go and experience it yourself. It's a great experience. The people around you are nice. Always people wanting to talk to you, and you talk to them. It's a good crack, but it ain't easy. Everybody has just up to, I mean, with me doing videos like this and videos from before I did this and the magazines and the latest gear, fishing's just, it's just improved. Like, I mean, everybody seems to be a good angler. There's not many bad anglers out there, trust me. Don't get me wrong, there's 1 or 2 muppets. Isn't there, David Wood? I can't say it because he's thrashing me in our challenge match. I'm gonna have to put that right, aren't I? I mean, he did have 3 points in one session. I mean, I didn't even know we were having a bounty eating competition. I just wanted to see him throw up while they were eating it. I'm trying to make excuses, Dave. Anyway, let's get back to this. So yes, really looking forward to this final. I hope I can have a half decent day today to keep myself in with a shout of getting in the top 6. I think it's the top 6 prizes. There are sections to be had. I think it's sections of 5, and then there's a super pool. So there's quite a few things to fish for, and I just can't wait to get started. So we'll see where we get drawn, and I must say it's been a wonderful tournament, or series of matches, or a championship, whatever you want to call it. It's been wonderful, and the lads here have been great. So I've really enjoyed it so far, and I just hope the final comes together. I hope I'm a little bit like Hannibal Hayes from the A-Team. I love it when a plan comes together. I hope I'm saying that at the end of the weekend. Right then, folks, as you can see, big beam on my face, nice day. Let's hope there are a few fish there, eh? So we'll see you up at the Upper Rivington, and we'll see what Joe's got to say. I might get him on camera again. He reckons he's a little bit camera shy, but I thought he did all right last time. Right then, folks, see you in, hey, it'll be in a jiffy for you. It'll be about 3/4 of an hour for me. Right then, folks, lovely Joe Farrell's just turned up. We're here at Adlington Angling Centre, and Joe's just going to explain a little bit about how we can win the weekend and how it all actually works. We're hoping to try and win ourselves, Joe, but this is the man who knows the job inside out round here, so
I wouldn't say that, pal. I wouldn't say that.
So here we go, Joe. Tell these lovely people how this competition works over this weekend for the final.
Yeah, well, it's a 2-day competition, which is obviously split over 2 reservoirs, and there's 20 anglers on each who have qualified from the I think there was five qualifiers. 5 qualifiers. So what we've got is 20 anglers on, and they're all going to be split into 4 zones. Now there's plenty of prizes to be won. There's the sections of 5, and there's fantastic goodie bags from Daiwa, which have been kindly donated by Daiwa. Ground bait, advantage bait, we all use it, fantastic stuff. So I'm looking forward to having a little peruse through that if I can get me section. But there's plenty of money to be won as well. It's £1,500 prize money from the competition for the first prize. It goes down, it steps down.
Goes down to 6th place, doesn't it?
6th place, yeah. And it's a great competition. Everyone's enjoyed it, yeah. So, and then the accumulated weight from today goes with tomorrow's weight, which is on angles. I'm on Rivington, you're on Rivington as well.
I drew Rivington as well,
yeah,
which is where we wanted to be.
Yeah, it's a decent draw. I always look for the big fish on the angles arc to be fed up today, and a little bit of pre-baiting by those good lads.
I think I mentioned that earlier. I think that's what most people want, isn't it?
It's finding out where them lads are fed. That's the interesting part about it. So who you know.
And they're not going to give anything away, are they?
No. So then what we've got then is the combined weight over the 2 days, which will the winning weight, the top weight, will win the festival. Morning, Nick.
No, that's great. So there you go, folks. It's a combined weight. We're fishing Upper Rivington today, and tomorrow me and Joe will be fishing Angles Arc. It's the combined weight of the 2 reservoirs becomes the champion. Now, before we get off, this tournament, or this series of matches, or championship as you want to call it, has been organised by Andy Gibbs, Adlington Angling Centre. He's the owner of Adlington Angling Centre. So Andy, I think you've done a great job. I've really enjoyed myself. It's the first time I've been here. Absolutely fantastic job. It can be a thankless job, can't it?
It can be, yeah. And you know, you've got to remember the lads who have been helping as well on the bank. And Lee Siddle's just gone past now. You know, he's not fished and he's run matches. He's weighed in, and we're ever so grateful of that. You know, and the opportunity for this competition has brought us all together. You know, as captain of our feeder team under Adlington, you know, we're ever so grateful. We're ever so grateful for what he's offered us, so thank you, Andrew, from my team, on behalf of my team.
So and all you guys at Mucking as well, we all appreciate it. Andrew, definitely appreciate it, and keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll see you on the bank weighing mine and Joe's nets in that we're going to be struggling to lift out. Is that right, Joe? Well, we're going to be struggling to lift his nets out today.
Well, I hope so.
So there you go, folks, the draw's at 8:30. We shall see you at the draw in about, let's have a look, 35 minutes. Right, over and out. See you later.
See you later.
Yeah! Peg 3.
Alright, that on.
Thank you.
See you later.
Come on, Badge. Right folks, you see what I've drawn, peg 3. Brian Kane, the guy I'll call him Ryan, over there last time, he had £4.7 off this peg, so we shall see how we get on. But there's one difference. There's a chop on the reservoir today, so hopefully that wind blowing in might produce a few more fish, but it'll be the same for the other one as well, and there's a lot of fish to come out of the other reservoir, so all to play for today. I could do with today, to give me half a chance of coming in the top 6, I could do with about £15 today. Any more than that, you've a chance of winning, I think. But we'll see how we get on. Right folks, I'm all ready. It's pretty much the same bait tray as yesterday. I have got corn and some bread to air rig if I fancy it. Bream love bread, and you never know. If it's difficult, put a few discs of bread on air rigged, you might just get that pull. That's just there, just in case. Do apologise about the wind, it is blowing. It's not as choppy now, but at least it's blowing into us, so that's alright. Let you have a look, because it's just beautiful here. It's dead simple tactics. We've just got to hope some bream are there, so here we go. Just look at that where I am. It's just fantastic, isn't it? See if we can... There we go. Absolutely gorgeous. Can't remember who's to my right, I'll have to find out. He's gone. And if we go around here, we're next to Joe Jagger. I don't know he's been on camera, but there's Joe Jagger next to me. That lucky so and so. When time was shouters, he shouted time, lifted his rod up, pulled a £4 bream in, which gave him £5. Now that's luck. Well done, Joe. Nice one. Right, here we go. Let's have a look. Right, I've got my ducks. Here we are, duck parade. I'm aiming for, it's like a, I don't know if you can see it, like a bit of a V there. I've gone 50 metres there. I've picked 50 metres. It's an easy cast. I've gone a bit further out, and there's no difference in depth, so I don't see the point in going any further out. And then I've gone 35 metres here, and there's like a bit of a snag, and it didn't feel quite right, and I've got like a 5.5 second count. But then I've gone to the right a little bit. There's like a, you won't be able to see it, but there's a little post in the trees. I've gone to the right a little bit, and I've got a 5 second count, and it's hardly, you know, and there's no snags or nothing, and it's just that little bit shallow, slightly to my right. So I thought, that'll do, I'll have a 5 second count there. 35 metres, 50 metres straight out. That's nice and clear out there. I'll have to remember, if I hook into something further out, lift them up, because it is just felt a bit snaggy at about 28-30 metres. And this is peg 3, as you saw, so dead simple match, and let's just hope we get a few fish. We've got 25 minutes to go. I'll have a drink of coffee and we'll see you on the bank. Well, we'll see you when we get fishing. Oh folks, we're 35 minutes in. I spent 15 minutes baiting my lines up. He's sorted, and we got off to a great start. There's been landing nets going out. Joe's had a couple of skimmers, and this is my third one. Again, there's pike knocking about, and I've had 3 of these, so there's about 6 ounce a piece, I reckon. So if this is fishing well, I reckon the other res has got to be fishing well and all. So we need plenty, and we need some bonus fish as well. James, there you go, about 5 ounce, maybe 6 ounce. James had a Tommy Ruffin little skimmer, I think, outside of the James place, I think it is, and Joe Jagger to my left. Now I remember last time I was here, even though I caught on worm, I got the bigger bream on 4 maggots, and that's what I've set off with. I've set off on my short line. I can't remember whether I put 6 feeder fulls long at 50 metres, gone for 50 with that wind in face. just to make it easy for myself. It's nice and flat, a 6-second count, and slightly to my right, like I say, slightly shallower, 35 metres. And even though I've put particles in on the feed, on the bait, I've hardly been putting anything in. In fact, I'm going to do nothing on this one. Just so mine is like the standout bait when it hits the bottom. Well, I think there's 1 or 2 fish out there because I've had like 7 casts. I've had 7 casts and I've had 5 or 6 bites, so the others I think were little Tommy Ruffs or something, little vibrations, but that one was a nice positive pull. There. There we go, that's set, and they've been coming within, I'll tell you what's been working. If I've not had a bite after 2 minutes, I pull it back about a yard and I've had 3 instant pulls, and that happened on here last time. If you ever listen on that video, I know, I think I had about £8 that day, but the twitch produced a bite every time. Well, not every time, quite often, and it's done it every time so far here. It's produced a little bite, and that one were a real positive one. It went straight. I thought it would be a bream. So there is fish being caught, there's people going in and out. Like I said, oh, was that an indication? A slight indication there, probably a little Tommy Ruff. There we go. Didn't strike on the others because they were I just thought they were too small. This feels like a lot smaller fish. This could be a little roach or a Tommy Ruff or something. But you've just got to wait for that slightly more positive bite, because otherwise you can be striking at nothing. And I know the only small bites bring, unless they get older, and they don't know if he just carries on going. Is it a skimmer or is it a... Oh, it's a skimmer, I think. It's just jiggling about, look. Yeah, this is a lively thing. It's in the line's gone into its gill, wrapped round its sides, come out. So I'd be happy catching these all day. Come out, it won't come out. There we go. So there we are, folks. 4 fish, round about the 6 ounce mark each. Work that one out yourself. 4 maggots is doing the trick. And there is, like I said, I'll tell you what I've seen here, which I've not seen, but even though the double look over here, it's all like in Lancashire, isn't it? There's been a lot of swing tips. That's how delicate it can be. If they're not having it properly, a lot of people use swing tips and they can't feel it, and there's a lot of people had a lot of success with swing tips. Why not? That was the bream way at one point. Great way of fishing. I'll put a few particles in this time. Right, that's me. Let's get back and get a few more. Schoolboy error. Said I wouldn't say anything, but James at side of me jumped into his first skimmer like that, like I've been catching. He's forgot to set his landing net up. What a muppet. Sorry, James. We're an hour and a half in. I've had 9, 10 fish. I've just been on my long line for a few. People's catching, Joe's had a few. Just had a better one. I'm just going on my long line. It's the first time I've put a few pieces of worm on. I seem to be getting pestered with little Tommy Ruffs on my short line. So I'm resting that. Going on my long line. Getting pestered with little Tommy Ruffs on the maggot there. There were quite a lot of Tommy Ruffs last time, so onto the long line, bits of worm, and it's resulted in that. So got to give that another go. It seems to be at the minute you get a couple and then you seem to get pestered with these little goddamn Tommy Ruffs. So we'll give that another go. Get it off with a little pinky, which is what I did last time. Just hope some breams turn up. Right, word on the bank is that both reservoirs are fishing a lot better. It's just that bit of wind. This feels like a better fish. 2 bits of worm on. Just hope the pike doesn't get it. Yeah, that's a better skimmer. That'll do. Do with a few more of those. Just got to make sure your feeders don't end up in between those bricks. Oh yeah, typical bream bite that. I thought that was going to be a proper bream way that went round. Nice slow bite. Crikey, this is early. There we go. Nice little skimmer. So that is, folks, 11 fish. Right, so let me get back in. Let's see if we can get a few more. There, look at that. Count worms have got that. 2 of them. Greedy little sod. 2 dendras. 2 half dendras, to be fair. Oh, I can't believe it. That's got to be the smallest Tommy Ruff I've ever caught. Oh folks, there's a guy 4 up on 2 bream. They reckon he might have £10. There's been odd bream caught. I'm not sure if this is a proper bream. I think it's probably one of the biggest fish. Feel of it. At first I thought it was a bream. But we'll see. I might be wrong. Right, it's putting a bit of a scrap up now. Yeah, it's a skimmer. There we go. A bit better fish. It's about, I don't know, might be 10 ounce, maybe. That's 14 or 15 fish that we've got. I've just not seen any big ones just yet, so let's hope they turn up. I've been on the short line, I've refed that, had a little go while I were refeeding it, and I'm just hoping. I mean, the bream look like they've come from the long lines with people, so I'm hoping we get a bream turn up there. So that's, and I had the cage feeder on to start with, and I've now gone onto the window feed. I've started slopping a bit of ground bait up. I'm wanting the bait and the particles to sort of get down to the bottom rather than bringing the fish up. So with it being deep, I'm pretty sure that the fish will sort of snap all the bait up on its way down. That's what I think anyway. Get a few particles in there. Bit of chopped worm. And a bit of sloppy ground bait. So let's hope we can get a bream on this one. Bullseye. Been a little bit wayward today, not a lot, but just can't seem to nail target. Yesterday I don't think I missed out hardly all day. I'm only a little bit left and right, but they are grazers and bream, so not too worried. Somebody asked me why I've clipped up, why am I moving the feeder. Just give it a second. You've got a 1 metre hook length on. your feeder hits the bottom. There's a lot of slack line as well, feeder going down, so you're actually tightening a lot of your braid as you're moving, as you pull it back, and move that feeder a little bit. Bit of bait will come out, and hopefully it'll straighten most of the hook length out. Because what happens is, with the feeder coming down, your hook length ends up like that, so it lands, even though it's a metre hook length, quite close to your feeder. But by moving it like that, in theory, I mean, there's toe to take into account, and you know, your hook length could end up pretty much anywhere. But we're trying to straighten that hook length out, so if you do get a bite, it indicates on the tip a lot sooner. Otherwise, I've got a metre to be swimming about with it. I mean, a great example is Joe. He shouted time and lifted his rod, and there was a bream sat there with it in its mouth, and he didn't even have a bite. So, and there's a lot of these Tommy Rough. You can reel in, no indication there's a perch or a Tommy Rough on end. So we try as best to get that hook length away from your feeder, so it shows the bite earlier. So somebody's asked me that. I just thought I'd explain it a little bit better than messaging. But I've had a nice day's fishing. It's been quiet for the last 45-50 minutes. I couldn't seem to get a bite short or long. I've just started putting 2 bits of worm on. I've had a go on corn. Just thought I'd give that a go because I have fed corn. I had a slight little tap, but nothing up timer. Nothing to lift into really. But I just thought to give it a try while it was quiet, and nothing's really a little indication there. Could have probably maybe lifted at that, I'm not sure. It was just a little, could be a little perch having a tug at it. Just like it to be a little bit more positive. So we had quite a few fish, just not the right size. Just could do with them being bigger, like I say. To give me a chance of being in money, I could have done with at least £15 of fish today. But there's 2 hours and 10 minutes left. You never know, half a dozen bream might turn up. You just never know. Always the optimist. But yeah, what a great weekend I've had. 2 days fishing up top. Can't ask for any more. Right, over and out. Let's see if we can hook into some proper slabs. Oh folks, I'm on to fish number, I think it's 16. James to my right, he's been catching MPEG there. Joe says he's got 10 skimmers. I've got about 8 skimmers and maybe 9 skimmers. And these bloody Tommy Roughs, I just can't seem to get bloody rid of them. Always jittering on end of your rod. So there's 45 minutes to go. There's a guy who did well yesterday. He's actually the guy that's had two bream further up. So he's in contention of winning it. Apparently he's got about £23 in total. So the only way I can catch that up is to get about 5 or 6 bream. 5 bream would put me up there, but it's a big ask in 45 minutes. I've just put an extra 1.5 metres distance on to go at the back of the bait. I've kept alternating the way I presented with feeders and things like that, so just to see if we can get a response. And there's not a lot really works, you know, you get a couple of bites. I'll just cast this in. Just on an extra, I'd say almost 2 metres. Let's see if we get a response. See if there's anything decent hanging off the back of the bait. but it could definitely do with a few bream. Just to get a little bit higher up the ord. It's I've caught, I wouldn't say loads of fish, but I had about 14 or 15, maybe 14, 15 fish yesterday, smaller fish than what I've got. If all the fish had been 6 to 8 ounce, what's that now? Sorry, 16 fish I've had. If they'd have all been sort of 8 ounce a piece, I'd have had £8 today. I think, I'm not sure. It's so hard to judge when you're getting small ones and then you get one 5 or 6 or 7 ounce. I'm not sure what I've got, £4 to £5 maybe. I don't know. I might be completely wrong. I could be overestimating. It could be £3.5. But there's been no fish of any decent size that I were after. I could have done with some of those 3 or 4 pounders just to give me half a chance, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. I've had one liner today that looked very, very breamish. Nice big liner, and then it just flicked back. If it had carried on going, I'd have lifted, but you could just tell it wasn't bite. It was too smooth. But, the pattern today has been, you'll get a bite off a Tommy Ruffer perch or a skimmer, and then you get nothing. There's just been no pattern whatsoever at all. A bite will just come out at blue, and everybody's been saying that today. But I expected, there's not been a lot of bream. I mean, when Andrew Gibb came down doing his live feed on Facebook, he said it'd be like somebody'd have a bream, he'd do 2 or 3 pegs, they'd not had anything but skimmers, then a bream, and I think the guy was in contention as the only one that's got 2 bream, so I could be wrong. I think there's only 4 or 5 decent bream being caught today. So asking for 4 bream in the last 40 minutes sounds like a big ask.
You'll be alright then.
But you never know. Right, that's your update. Unless I hook into something decent, we'll probably see you out the way in 40 minutes time. Well, fisher people, that's the end of the final, and I've got to say before I go on about today's fishing, what a fantastic weekend I've had. It's been absolutely superb. Really enjoyed it. It's been a great experience, great bunch of lads, and what a gorgeous place those 2 reservoirs are. Really enjoyed it, and a big thank you to Joe Farrell for put me up overnight. I stayed at Joe's last night, so thank you, Joe Farrell and Sharon. I really appreciate it. We had a lovely curry, and I had a beer. Joe actually said to me, "So would you like a beer, Alan?" He said, "We've got some Corona." So I'm going to let Headley put this little clip at it. I'm sorry, Joe, but I couldn't resist it. This is what Joe was trying to open the bottle with. Take it away, Headley. Right. I'm really sorry, I couldn't resist it, mate. It tickled me pink, did that. Apart from putting the vinegar in the frying pan next morning thinking it was oil as well. Oh, we've had some laughs. Right, day one, as you saw, didn't draw the best on day one apparently. I only know that because of what people said. When I got to my peg, I've treated it as I've never fished that side. I just treat it as it's another day's fishing, let's do us best. Struggled a bit there. Joe was on the end peg and really struggled there. There just didn't seem to be any volumes of fish. Apparently, when I was talking to some of the boys, sort of 6 and 7 of the 2 pegs that have been producing on a regular basis. Obviously, end peg 1 is another favoured area, but that's not really done too much neither. That particular day, they just seemed to be in little pockets, and it was the same on Anglesark as well. So that's the end of that one. Day 2, I've drawn peg 3, £4.7 came off peg 3, Brian Kane. The fish seem to come from the middle, the bream, or the slightly better weights. That's what they've been saying, and that's where everybody seemed to want to be. Joe's drawn peg 7, he was quite happy with that, and he's had a decent day as well. He's ended up having a couple of bream, which bumped his weight up. He's had £10. And ditch, Richard, I've forgotten his name, let me have a look. I've forgotten his surname. Let me have a look. Here we go. He's drawn, sorry folks, it's just I should have had it already, that Richard Yates. He was to my left on peg on the first day, and he's ended up with just short of £10, and he's drawn peg 12 on Anglesark. So they reckon, and this is, I mean, I've no idea, don't forget folks, talking to the guys, they reckon sort of from 6 to 15 is the area where it seems to be consistent for bream, and it proved exactly that. I think Joe mentioned it to me first time round. He says that area, them areas is where you really want to be. Peg 20 can throw a weight up. And Richard Yates has drawn peg 12, and he's had another good day. So before we get on to the results, I mean, the first day, I would say I was 98% happy with my casting, the way I presented it, the way I swapped and changed, as you do with, I won't bore you all, from feeders to different baits. It seemed like the fish wanted to be up in the water a little bit there. You could see a lot of topping, so I've changed from a cage to a winder feeder. I've squashed the ground bait in a little bit more, so there's not too much mid-water, hopefully, to take them down. Tried all the tricks, and I think I had 14 or 15 fish that day, and pretty much the same on Anglesark. I caught my fish at 54 metres last time. It was blowing a little bit more, and I was concerned about accuracy, so I left it at 50. When I've gone further out, there's not much difference in those 4 metres. It was nice and clear there. 35 metres on my short line, there was a bit of a snag on the same line. I had to move to the right where it was nice and clear, and I set off great. I had about 4 skimmers at first, sort of 15 minutes baiting up, and the next 15-20 minutes I had 4 skimmers and a Tommy Ruff and a perch. So good start, but they just didn't keep coming. There was no pattern whatsoever. It'd be catch a few then stop, catch a few then stop. End peg to my right, James, he set off slow, but he's ended up catching consistently sort of the odd 10-ounce fish, 6 ounce to 10 ounce, and he's ended up with £10. Me and Joe Jagger, we've struggled. He ended up sneaking one short in the end, a 2-pounder, which bumped his weight up to £6, just over £6. I've ended up with 1 ounce short of £5, and I've clicked 20 fish on my clicker. I don't think I've clicked the little Tommy Ruff, so over 20 fish, all small, apart from, I think I had one that might have been 8, 9 ounce, maybe 10, I don't know. The others were, they were okay, between 4 and 6 ounce, and then smaller. The fish, there's been about 15 bream caught, I think, that day, maybe a tad more along the reservoir, and they've come from those middle areas. First day, bullseye with my casting. Second day, I was absolutely 100% happy with what went off on the first day. It just didn't happen. The second day, accuracy wise with casting, I hit the clips, I had one little incident where I think I caught my finger and it dropped short, but I'm not worried about that. It was only a winder feeder. Casting wise, I was probably about 70% happy with the accuracy. Now and again with the wind, it'd drift off to right, and then I'd allow for that and cast it left slightly to allow for the drift, and then wind would drop and it'd stay dead straight and land 3 or 4 yards from where your last one was. So distance wise, fine. Accuracy, it could be a little bit tricky to get it bang on the nose every single time, but I've had a cracking day. Really enjoyed it. It's difficult to work it out. What have I learned? Short line on Upper Rivington can be very productive, in and out every couple of minutes. Long line, I think it's a waiting game. On the long line, I think you've got to put some bait in, leave it a while, go out there and sit on it maybe. Never really had any fish long, just the odd one. Angles arc, 35-metre line can produce a few fish, but I certainly think I was leaving it up to 7 minutes on my long line. I think I will leave it 10-12 minutes next time and sit and wait for those passing bream. They seem to turn up and go. You don't seem to get 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 bream all at once. People seem to be catching 1, 2 or 3 and then it'd go. But I've really enjoyed it. It's been a good experience. I will be back next year, and let's get on to the results. So, great weekend. It just didn't really happen for me. I don't think I've drawn the best of areas or the favoured areas by the sounds of it, but again, I don't know. It's only what people have told me. We do have a winner, Richard. He's nicknamed Ditch, on my left hand side. He's ended up on peg 12, and I've just seen a picture of all the fish that he caught. They're a different stamp of fish to what I was catching. I know that he was using worm the other day. I'm pretty sure they've been using maggot and worm. 4 maggots seem to be the bait at Angles Arc. I've had 1 or 2 on worm. It was bits of worm at the other reservoir. So they're just things that I'm making notes of. So in 6th place, John Rogers with 21 pound. My combined weight would have been just short of 10. So in 6th place with 21 pound, we've got John Rogers. So what a mighty fisherman you are, John. Well done, mate. Then 21 pound 8 ounce in 5th place. We've got Darren Hanley. What a mighty fisherman you are, Darren, in 4th place. We've got Dean Willen with 21 pound 13 ounce. I haven't got my glasses on, so I'm struggling to see it, in 3rd place. So what a mighty fisherman you are, Derek, sorry. In 3rd place, we've got Gordon Sim with 22 pound 1 ounce, very close. So what a mighty fisherman you are, well done, son. In 2nd place, we've got Lee Siddall with 22 pounds 10 ounce. What a mighty fisherman you are, well done, son. And in 1st place, nicknamed Ditch, Richard Yates with 24 pounds 10 ounce. You are this year's Adlington Angling Centre's mightiest fisherman, and well done, son, well deserved. 2 half decent draws, I think. You've made the most of it, and that's what you've got to do. So well done, son. So thank you everybody that's helped weighing in, everybody that's helped organising, and Andrew Gibb for producing this this championship, and also Daiwa for helping sponsoring as well. So it's great all around. It's been a great, well run championship. I advise anybody who wants to do a bit of feeder fishing, get yourself entered there. I'm sure you'll enjoy it like I have, and I will be back next year. So I'm going on holiday tomorrow, so it'll be next week when I'm on the bank. It's Bass and Lakes on the 15th in the UK Champs for me. So there we go. So once again, folks, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my final. It didn't go to plan. I did try my best. I think I fished it quite tidy. Just not happened this year, but we'll have a go next year. So don't forget, folks, if you do like my videos, it's absolutely free to subscribe. If you click the notification bell, you will get all our videos as we upload them, and a thumbs up would be very, very nice.